Hi, I'm Rob Vanstone. I'm here with Murray McCormick. The CFL's free agency period begins on Tuesday. I'm sure it will be quite frenzied everywhere. Of course, there's so much discussion about the Saskatchewan Roughriders. We're discussing this a little bit in advance of the free agency period, given the unpredictabilities of the CFL market. Who knows, maybe somebody we mentioned will have signed somewhere, but we're operating on the assumption that that will not happen, being that we are infallible in our judgment. Murray, you've done a piece on the top 5 or the top 10. Top 5?
Top 5
top 5 offensive and defensive free agents that the Rough Riders should pursue. Let's take a look at the offense. Who do you think should be at the top of that list?
Well, I'm going to go
now that I know it's 5 and not 10.
Out of the box a little bit, and I know it's not quite pure offense. I like Justin Medlock. I think they really need a place kicker and a punter and a kickoff guy, and he's a guy who can deal with all of that. He's going to be expensive, a lot of money, and do you spend all your free agency money on a kicker? That's something they have to decide on. Going down a little deeper in the list, they need a Canadian receiver. Shamad Chambers from the Edmonton Eskimos is the guy that jumps out at me. Big size, big hands. Injury issues, but free agents tend to be a little bit older, so you get injury issues, that stuff. Another guy who I really like, and I don't know if Chris Jones is watching this, Kendall Lawrence from the Eskimos. Another Eskimo guy. May as well have the whole team here.
They brought the whole coaching staff. Why not bring some players?
But he's another guy, because when I was looking at versatility from my free agent list, and he's a guy that can be running back, a slot back, he can return kicks, he can return punts, and he's an explosive player. Be a great guy. He knows this Eskimos offense, so he'd be another guy to step into. I tried to find an offensive lineman that I thought might be worthy of it, and I probably came up with a guy almost as old as I am, Josh Burke. Still very effective. The left tackle, the Riders could use the left tackle. And finally, I kind of threw Jeff Fuller in there. Another guy who might come cheaper from Calgary because he's been inconsistent, but he might have some potential to really sort of step in. Another big receiver that will help out this offense.
I think if you look at it, I think you have to look at past affiliations. And there's two ways to go with this. You can look at who does John Murphy know, and you can look at who does Chris Jones know. So you might look at Alberta and think, well, there's going to be a lot of players who have those affiliations, such as Jeff Fuller with John Murphy, Chris Jones, and well, yes, so many people. And I think that segues, you wonder too about the defense. And Chris Jones is so synonymous with defense, and the free agent to end all free agents this season is Ted Laurent. And I'm sure there's going to be a massive bidding war for him. And the Rough Riders, I bet, and 8 other teams will be in there pitching. I had to put him at the top of the list because I got to pretend I know what I'm doing. And that's really, if I don't put Ted Laurent at the top of my list, I really don't know what a difference he could make for this team. I think everybody knew how bad the defense was last year. We knew how inconsistent the defensive line was. You take a 28-year-old, 300-pounder, stick him in the middle, and you're covered for a couple of years of defensive tackle. Be a great signing. I kind of throw out a second guy, kind of like Otha Foster. He's a linebacker slash defensive back with the Eskimos. Not a big name, not one of those big guys. He's had some NFL interest, but he's a Jones-type guy, big defensive back that can play that kind of stuff. Looking down at another defensive guy, Justin Capicati. He's he's so good. You want to call him a poor man's Ted Laurent, but he is a very good player. There's all sorts of big names on defense they could go to, but when I was kind of putting together my list, I thought of affordability and what their impact can be and how they fit into Chris Jones' system. So my list may be different than yours, but it's my list. So I think I'm allowed to have my little leeway and think outside the box sometimes. And then what happens if down the road Brett Jones and Ben Heenan become available? Then we have another discussion entirely. We'll do another video on that, won't we? I'm sure we'll do a lot this coming week. For Murray McCormick, I'm Rob Vanstone. Thanks for your time today and take care.